from Sydney and Melbourne. It's Full Disclosure, the Jono and Dorje podcast. Jono and Dorje, full disclosure in the raw. Jono and Dorje, full disclosure, no holds barred. No holds barred. Welcome to Full Disclosure, episode 12.
You beauty. Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone. And hey, Jono Burns. How's life down in Melbourne?
Good, Dorje Swallow. Really good. How's your sandwich? You pushed this off a little bit to have a sandwich. What did you have in it?
Avocado, cheese, tomato, baby.
You know how to live. You didn't heat it up, did you?
Yeah, it was toasted, baby.
Don't you feel that fucks up the avocado?
Yeah, but the problem was it had been at that cafe in the window for all day because it's now 4:30, so I figured fry it, get rid of any germs.
Any salmonella, anything nasty like that. But did it taste a bit gross? I find that's a pet hate of mine is when they put avocado in pasta.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's chicken Alfredo or something.
I've tried doing that recently and it's not good. It hasn't tasted good at all. I don't know why I'm doing it.
Fucking bullshit. It does something
gross.
Bad to the avocado. The avocado is a pure, delicious meal in itself.
It's one of my go-tos. Guac, as you know. I'm a big guac fan.
You're a guac man. You're an ass man and a guac man.
Not an ass man. I put a lot of garlic in my guac. You don't agree with that, do you?
I don't mind. No, I don't mind. I have garlic in there and I have lemon in there and I have salt and pepper and that's it. I don't want any tomatoes or chili or yogurt.
Sour cream? No sour cream?
No, I'm a purist. Just why fuck it up? It's perfect in itself.
Well, speaking of being perfect in itself, this app is a big app because we've got our first guest, Jamie Timony, who's coming in on the show. And hopefully, I wouldn't say, I'm not expecting him to be perfect, but I think it's a great coup to have such a wonderful talent coming in to kick off our guest stars, so to speak. Yeah,
we're going to keep it short and sharp because Timony really is not just the icing on the cake. He is the cake. He's the avocado in the guac. So we're just going to race through this, aren't we, Dorje?
That's right. But
we're talking about the World Cup. Do you want to talk about the World Cup?
Yeah, the World Cup's on, so this is kind of our World Cup edition. Apologies also to all our listeners, including my sister, who've complained about the tardiness of Ep 11. I have been swamped with a whole bunch of work. I'm very in demand. I think I'm right up there, really. It's one of the most in-demand people in Australia.
So, well, you're in a play. How's the play going?
The play's going well. Yeah, look, it's solid. It's not...
What's it called?
It's called Dresden, and it's playing at King's Cross Theatre and finishes probably about the time I get this app out, which is about 30th of June. So not really spruiking it whatsoever, but it's great to be involved, great cast, and I think it's a really interesting play. The writer, Justin Fleming, it's about Hitler and Wagner, and I don't think you can get much more interesting than that.
No, they're two heavy hitters. Whose music did you prefer out of the two of them?
Well, Wagner. I do like the Dance of the Valkyries. It does get me going. But wait, is it the Dance of the Valkyries?
Does it really?
No, it's the Ride. Is it the Ride of the Valkyries?
It's from Apocalypse Now. Yeah, no, it's super.
It's an absolute banger. And how about you? What's the update in Jono Burns land? Give all our listeners the news.
Well, Melbourne is a very vibrant place. I've been doing lots of things. I was the +1 a couple of times for the MTC, so I saw a couple of plays at the Melbourne Theatre Company. And they were all right. They didn't blow me away. One was a Lorca, the playwright Lorca.
Oh, you mean Cork?
Blood Wedding?
Oh, yeah, Lorca, of course.
Not a Corker. It's not a Corker from Lorca. It's the House of Bernard Alba, and I didn't dig it so much. But what was the most interesting thing?
Should have been the shit house of
shit house of Bernard. It just didn't quite work. It didn't quite work for me. Yep. But I went away on the weekend to a DJ battle.
That's cool.
In 2 hours out of Melbourne. Yeah, it's pretty edgy, Dorje. Edgy thing. And it's quite a niche thing. It's the 34th of these battles. And they're a couple of blokes I went to school with. And they've been doing it, obviously not for 34 years, but when they had more time on their hands, they did like eight in a year kind of thing. And
it's like our podcast.
Yeah, what, 8 in a year? No, we've got to get more out than that, mate. There's definitely demand. But so we went out there, and it's just an all-nighter where 10 different DJs do 1 hour sets that they not choreograph, but they set to visuals as well. And it was super impressive There was one person who made his own video game from scratch. One of the you might know this being a gamer. There was a game called Road to Oregon, which was one of the first ever video games, and he recreated it with all his friends and did the voiceover and stuff, and had bangers every time there was a fight, and that came runner up. But a really impressive one had ASMR. Do you know what that is?
ASMR.
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 Yeah, ASMR.
Okay.
As Mr. It's Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, and it's going nuts on the internet at the moment.
Oh, no, I do know about it. Georgie's been asking me to do it for her.
I was thinking you'd be really great at it. If you want to make a couple of bucks, you'd be amazing at it.
I don't
Just whispering sweet nothings.
I don't need any money right now, mate.
You're making cheese. All right. Well, it's pretty cool, and it's something. It was a cool thing because it was a bit of kind of synchronicity, because I met a Japanese girl on the bus on the way back from work the other day, because it's shocking. The trains are all getting rerouted, so we're all on these buses, and it's fucking bullshit.
They're getting what?
Rerouted.
Okay.
They're fucking being routed, I'll tell you that, because it takes about 2 hours to get to the hospital. So we were just kind of in siege mentality, and I was talking to this younger Japanese girl, and I said, what have you been doing today? And she said that
Did you open with that?
What have you been doing? I think I'm fine talking to strangers. That's one of my favourite things to do.
Bit me too, mate. Bit me too.
What do you mean?
Well, I was asking a random girl on a train, what are you doing today?
What have you been doing today? And she said she'd spent the whole day watching ASMR videos. And so I already knew about it before getting this battle.
Is that how she said it?
Anyway.
ASMR? Or did you say ASMR?
Yeah, and then she showed me some on her phone. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know how to say it. Is it ASMR or ASMR?
ASMR. It's called ASMR.
It's pretty big. I did a bit of research on it. And there's this woman, a Russian expat, which is, I guess, topical because we've got the World Cup in Russia.
Yeah.
Who's living in Maryland, Washington, D.C., and she's had over 75 million views of her ASMR. And she does it because
sounds a bit like
she
Ask
was
the Mouth,
depressed.
doesn't it? ASMR.
Yeah, but it's not.
No.
I mean, you could do the sound of Ask the Mouth. What would that sound like, George?
I don't want to even try.
It'd be... You'd just be closing it. But she was depressed because she had a divorce, and it reminded her, she found some on the internet, and it reminded her of when she was at school and people used to tickle her arms.
Yes.
And a teacher used to whisper things in her ear, and it really relaxed her.
That's a bit of a concern, but yeah.
Uh-huh. And so she's just paying it forward. She's not even making any money off it.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
But anyway, that was the DJ battle. It was great, except the only flaw of it, Dorje, I took mushrooms.
Yes.
Had a fabulous time watching the footy on mushrooms.
Yes.
But it wasn't very social. People weren't talking much because they were all on the nangs.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. Where have you seen nangs?
I went to a warehouse rave type thing last year. Yeah. It was a B positive rave, and there was just
that guy. Yeah.
nangs and just dudes on nangs rolling around, and it was just...
They don't make you talk. They don't make you have fun.
No, they don't. Although I must say there were a few guys that did get really talking, and I wished they weren't talking. So it's a bit of column A, column B, really.
And those what are they, the whipped cream canisters or whatever. They were just scattered around the house the next day. There was thousands of them. People were doing hundreds of nangs.
Yeah, they are. That's terrible. So for the uninitiated, because a lot of people don't know what nangs are, they are the canisters, little canisters that you use for cream dispensers. Yeah, for cream dispensers. That's right. And I believe, what is it? Is it nitrous oxide?
I think so. Yeah, it just shuts off the oxygen to your brain for 3 seconds and you have a high.
Yeah, that's right. No, it is nitrous oxide.
It gave me a bit of a bad mushroom trip just seeing it because it snuck up on me. I didn't realize they were doing it, and then you just constantly heard and then when they threw them on the ground. And it was just along with the DJ battle, it was a bit of a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Slightly gave me the willies.
So wait, who was the winner of the DJ battle?
It was an excellent one. He's a doctor. I won't reveal his name, but he did a great job. And they've all got cool names, and they get a belt at the end. You have to vote the next day, so it's quite hard to remember all 10.
Yeah.
But he did a terrific job. He involved his kid in the video. He played all the characters in a band. Hundreds of hours of preparation goes into.
What? So so this is the video, the footage behind them while they're playing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, well, there's a sheet behind them with a projector and also a TV, 2 TVs.
That's pretty cool.
It was real cool. It was a real cool thing.
It's definitely raising the bar. It's giving Vivid Glebe a run for its money with that sort of paraphernalia.
Yeah, no, but it's less social than Vivid Glebe. It's all about the battle. And then the next night, it's called Players' Night, but really they were just doing nangs. And I went to bed quite early. But it's less pressure. They're competing against each other. There's a lot of bragging rights. They talk about it all year.
Well, speaking of bragging rights, I must say There's been numerous requests from people at SBS for they're very happy with the repeat caller of Rupert from Riverview, but there's been requests for more Putin, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes. Oh. I was flabbergasted. I had no idea why, but there's repeat. In fact, one guy particularly liked the rap. So
he's only called once.
He's only called once.
I guess he's probably quite busy with the World Cup, but maybe
the World Cup is on, and it's the World Cup's on. It's in Russia. Russia is very much in the news, so he's probably got a lot on his plate. Knowing him, he's probably involved in the coaching of the Russian team. He's probably heavily involved in the tactics, the incentives, and the punishments for good play. So it'll be fascinating to see if he can find time for us. But I just wanted to pass on to you that. Unbeknownst to me, in terms of reasoning, there is a following for Putin. Correct. Yeah.
Look, that's not surprising. He's an alpha. People get behind alphas.
They do.
They love alphas.
Australians in particular.
Hey, Dorje, did you hear about Burger King? What's going on with Burger King?
No, what's going
on? They're in trouble in Russia. I didn't even know there was a Burger King in Russia.
Right.
But they have this weird. So I'll just read what it says. It goes: fast food chain Burger King has come under fire for an offensive social media promotion offering a lifetime supply of Whopper burgers for Russian women who become pregnant with World Cup players. The burger giant's Russian division announced on Tuesday it was offering 3 million rubles, $64,000, in order to get the best football genes and ensure the success of the Russian team for generations to come. The deal, however, was pulled amid a flurry of complaints on social media. Burger King later apologized for the blunder. The topic of World Cup flings has been on the agenda in Russia. Politician Tamara Pletny warned Russian women against trysts with foreign men for fear of becoming a single parent, saying they should marry local men and that children from mixed-race marriages are unhappy. But parliamentary members Mikhail Detrokhov promoted a different view. The more love stories we have connected to the World Championship, the more people from different countries fall in love. The more children are born, the better, he said. So there you go. It's amazing stuff. I was having a bit of a go at you, mate, there.
Oh, the mixed race thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did read that article. I didn't read the...
Oh, you read that?
I didn't read the Whopper thing, but I read the lady who was arguing against mixed race. But then she was saying she wasn't a nationalist and was encouraging people to have romantic affairs at the end. She kind of tried to backtrack a little bit on what she was saying. Yeah, look, it's
pretty cheeky of the Whoppers too.
Yeah, but in terms of incentives, that's a solid incentive to hook up with someone. A lifetime of Whoppers, that would probably get me thinking about races that I had no interest in before. If I was, wouldn't
work with you.
What do you mean it wouldn't work with me?
Well, you can't have the baby of a male soccer player.
No, but I could. Procreate with
You simply can't.
I could procreate with a female Russian player, a soccer player who's very good, or a female player. It doesn't just go. I mean, what Steph Curry, isn't his mother a volleyballer? I think she was a very excellent, very high level volleyballer.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. It's just not one from one direction, Jono.
No, but it's the male World Cup at the moment. It's different time. But sorry, I shouldn't have. Yes, and Dorje. Are you enjoying the World Cup? Are you watching much?
Oh, I'm not. I'm just too busy, mate. I'm performing every night, so it's not a lot of time. When I'm working this much, something's got to give. I'm not seeing my partner at all. It's everything. All I can do is make sure I go to the next thing and do the best job I can, and hopefully an award-winning job. I just try and do award-winning jobs in everything I do now.
Yeah, just turn up. You just want to turn up and commit excellence. But I'm disappointed because I don't know much about the World Cup, so I was hoping you could explain it to me.
Oh, yeah, I know a lot about it. What do you want to know?
Oh, I don't know. Like there seem to be a few upsets going on that Germany might be fighting for their life. They've got one game left.
That's right. Correct.
Yeah. So you're on top of that. Okay. No, that's cool. And obviously Australia need a very good result against Peru.
Well, we need to win, and we need Denmark.
We need to win big.
We need Denmark to lose as well, because Denmark have won. They beat Peru, So if Denmark draw, even if they draw with France, we're up shit creek. So
Speaking of shit creek, I did kind of want to share with the listeners. We've got a full disclosure coming up, hopefully from Jamie Timony, but this is just a mini one involving the World Cup qualifier, where a bunch of our mates went, and unfortunately you were doing another play. You were constantly treading the boards, and so you weren't able to join us. But it was Australia-Syria, the World Cup. I think I've already told you about this, where there was probably about 10 of us, and we went there, and it was like herding cats, trying to get all of our mates out of the pub. And there we finally sat down, and the Syrian supporters were lovely and definitely were more fun to hang out with than the Aussie ones. Because have you noticed that it seems like a lot of soccer fans are a bit lame in Australia? Is that a
it was interesting. Yeah, well, no, we had an Australian guy when we were watching the Australia versus France guy. He just came up and goes, "Fuck off, French! Fucking get out of our country!" Like this fucking bogan from Cronulla. And he goes, "Oh, how good's they're doing all right though, aren't they?" He kept trying to buddy up with me and Tom Campbell and Yarlin.
Do you reckon he's a real soccer fan though, or is it
he seemed to know his stuff?
A nationalist.
And but he had that thing that Tom Campbell turned to me afterwards. He goes, "Have you noticed there's this thing like the racist tradie hipster thing at the moment?" And I was like, yeah, they go to all the music festivals and just get really off chops, but they're actually just they're going to get messed up. They're not social and they're racist. Yeah, but they're like super Aussie, but they look like hipsters. They look like boho. They look like they're artistically inclined, but when you talk to them, you realise they're just like got long dirty hair and they're absolute fucking idiots. Yeah, there's quite a lot of them actually. Yeah, and they're the guys that...
Well, I don't want to say that the people that love soccer are lame. Just the people that like are really nerd out about it. And there was quite a few under 18, and they were just a bit snide, and they were like really bitchy about the Australian players. So I wasn't interested in talking to them.
You don't like people being negative about the teams, do you? That's one of your pet hates.
Yeah. It is, yeah. And but the Syrians were just loving it. It was having a great time, and we were butting up. And I had my trusty hip flask with me, which I've been known to bring to Sydney Swan games with you and Fremantle games.
Lord of the Flask, we call him.
And I do get a bit rowdy, and I thought I was being hilarious, and I was getting
Michael Flatley, Lord of the Flask.
And I was getting lots of laughs from the section around me. I was definitely the loudest person, and because I think we went 1-0 up, and I just started yelling "Park the bus" a lot.
Yep.
And it just tickled me. I know it's
a funny phrase.
Yeah, it's not a joke in itself, but I was just like, "Park the bus, park the bus, Australia!" And I was really, and they were chortling, people were laughing and stuff, and I was just riffing with it. And I was like, "Park the bus," and then I was like, in my head, I was thinking like, what's some bus references? And I was like, "There's a bomb on the bus," and I just yelled it out. Fucking crickets, like my new Syrian friends.
Wait, did you say there's a bomb on the bus?
Yeah, there's a bomb on the... I didn't say there's a bum like a homeless person. No, there's a bomb on the bus.
Oh, dude.
And in my mind, that's just the funniest movie reference to a bus. But obviously, there's some other things there.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, people... Yeah, I wasn't able to regain my my standing in the section, and that was my own. But totally innocent, and it's just when
really high level stupidity though. Don't you think like really really high level, like not medium.
Yeah, because they would have just thought I was yelling out, "There's a bomb on the bus!" Like they didn't. Yeah, I mean, not everyone knows speed.
Twin Towers down. What's the stupidity were you yelling, mate? Yeah, it's just not. Not clever. Because it's content.
Because there probably was some of the fuckheads were making terrorist calls as well.
Yeah, well, especially some of those fucking bogan hipsters we were talking about. But yeah, you got to. If we learned anything from last week's episode, Jono, the world and life is about context, and unfortunately, you did not choose the right context for that particular hilarious gag.
I done fucked up.
You done fucked up.
Hey, Dorje, I've got to go see a man about a horse. Okay.
All right, buddy. Yeah, sure. I'll just eat another avocado sandwich or something. Just chill.
Don't cook it.
Jono and Dorje, full disclosure in the raw.
Yes, hello?
Hello.
Hello, is this Dorje Porgy?
Yes, is that... It sounds like Vladimir Putin. Have you...
Of course, who else? Hello, my little friend, how are you?
Great to hear your voice again, Vladimir. It was quite the coup, pardon the expression, when you called last time.
Yeah, don't mention that word, okay? It's least favorite word.
Oh, okay.
Salami fucked word. How's your little pod going, my little friend?
Look, it's coming along. We haven't yet managed to register a listener in Russia, but we have got a few.
We do not have outside pods, but are you on the social media? Maybe I can help you, you know?
Yeah, we're on social media. Yeah, we're on a few. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook.
Listen. I know social media. Okay, I know. We're very good at this. We're good with all the algorithms.
Nice.
Also, all the algorithms.
Oh, Olga, very good. I see what you did there.
Good job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could help you very much. But listen, I'm in a real hurry, okay?
You're a very busy man. Yeah.
Yes, just wanted to, gloat a bit about the World Cup.
Oh, yes. Congratulations.
Russia, 8 goals.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, a fantastic performance. And, a lot of people were deriding you guys, saying you're only playing in the World Cup because it's in Russia. But, boy, have you proved them wrong. You guys are...
Who says this?
No one specifically that I know. I can't name names,
no.
But no,
you can't name names, huh? So you can't.
I just just reporters. Some reporters.
Reporters.
Yeah, exactly. Who can trust them, huh? Those
yes.
They just make things up.
I mean, look at them making things up about. You see Melania? You see the little the shirt she wears?
No. What did it say?
It's good. It's good. I tell her you should say I don't give a fuck, but she wears I don't care. It's very funny. I like her. She reminds me of a cat.
Yeah, but she is Eastern European, I think. Melania, isn't she Slovenian or something like that? She's from what would have been the former USSR, I believe. So
yes.
Yeah, but more's the pity. But Russia, what a fantastic performance! Congrats, Putin. You're doing a fantastic job.
Don't worry about the spectacle. I mean, when these things are happening, other things are happening. You understand?
Well, not really. What do you mean by that?
Well, probably not exactly. But look over here, right? Look over there.
Like a magician? Is that like a magic trick sort of thing? Like a sleight of hand?
I like magic. Yeah, I like magic very much.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, of course. I'm a magician.
Who's your favorite magician, Vladimir? Do you like Darren Brown or David Copperfield?
I like David Blaine.
Okay. Yeah, well, he does some great tricks. That's right. He's quite the visual.
Sure, listen, little man. I have to go.
Okay, sorry.
You say hi to your mother for me, okay?
Oh, okay. What is anything you want me to pass on to my mother? Just hi from Vladimir Putin. Is that what you want me to say?
Goodbye. Here, okay. I'm going to do it. All right? You ready?
What are you going to do? You're going to do what? What are you going to do?
I'm going to do a little rap again.
Oh, you're doing a rap? Okay, I had no idea. Oh, okay. Yep. Sorry, Vladimir. I didn't realize that we're going back to the well, so to speak. Look,
that's right. But I started already. I start the track. I go back. Okay, here we go.
Oh, okay, sure.
You ready?
All right. Okay, I'm ready. Go for it, Vlad.
Yeah. All right. You're welcome. MC Putin, coming at you. Da. Push. Okay. Here we go. World Cup. Cup and ball. Before the pride, it come before Dostoevsky, absolutely nothing. I confess, my opponent's playing checkers, I play chess. Kasparov, yeah, come with me. He meets with little rocket man, snitch. I'm the silverback missile all up in this bitch, Sputnik. Looky here, I wave my wand. Real talk. No fucking James Bond, Fleming. My generals, they stand in the rain. We bring the noise, we bring the pain. We're having a reunion. A reunion. No reunion without Soviet Union. Come. Whirled into my lair. I'm a goddamn ghoul. A dragon slayer. Merkel. I make Barack look like Urkel. Got any cheese? No. Come with me, my apprentice, have no fear. Watch the ball. I make sovereign land disappear. Poof. I don't like. World. I cup your ball. Don't blink, don't sneeze. I gently squeeze. From Copperfield to Copperfield. He grabs the pussy, I lock them up. Pussy riot. Rip.
Come with me, my apprentice. If not, I show what I got. I'll zip it around the dark web like a frisbee. It'll make 2 girls, 1 cup look like Disney. While you're watching the ball, I might replace your sugar with stevia. Oh no, oh shit. Did he just take back the Crimea? I infect your screen with trolls. Bot babushka dolls. Like ninja elves. All full of themselves. I just put you in check. Think about it. Check. Republic. Czech Republic. You thinking about it? Good. Because I just fucked your mom.
Wow. That was quite something.
My generals, they stand out in the rain. I bring the noise, I bring the pain. We're having a reunion. Can't spell reunion without Soviet Union. Reunion. Having a reunion. Can't spell reunion without Soviet Union. They stand out in the rain. I bring the noise, I bring the pain. Reunion.
Reunion. Jono and Dorje, full disclosure in the raw. Raw.
Hey, Dorje.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Hey. Sorry, I just had to go and see about that little transaction.
Yeah, boy, did you miss? I'm just stupefied. It's something. It was very artistic what Vladimir did. Yeah. What Vladimir did. That could be the name of that podcast. Quite the musician. Very impressive. In fact, this is a musical theme podcast because we've had Vladimir smash out something pretty amazing. Yeah. I saw St Vincent smash out something less than amazing, I thought. I got free tickets, so I shouldn't diss it, and I was very lucky. I was very fortunate to get them. But what she did was she played with just a backing track. It was a backing track with no music, it's just her by herself. And considering a lot of people paid over $100 a ticket, I thought that was a bit of a piss take, to be honest with you. I don't think anyone should be playing along with a backing track if you're charging over $100.
Really? I don't think that matters if it's good. Like rappers don't have musicians.
Yeah, I guess.
You just got to be good.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's a good point. Maybe you're right. With rappers, I'm okay with it. But rappers involve sampling and stuff like that. Mm. So there's no.
So she just was actually. Oh, so it was like karaoke. She basically just got out and did karaoke.
She played a guitar and sang, but all the rest of the tracks were just recorded, and there was no dances or anything.
I saw her when she was awkward. How was she? She's very stylized and stuff.
Super stylized. There's an artistic sort of edge to it, and she showed a film beforehand. But yeah, look, I think she's a great musician, very talented, but I wasn't really picking up what she was putting down. I thought it was a bit of a piss take. But thankfully, we've got, when it comes to music, we've got a great musician coming up pretty shortly on Full Disclosure. It's our first guest. Hopefully, he might give Vladimir a run for her money. I think Mossy gives St Vincent a run for her money. And, and when it comes to comedy, he definitely has it covered because she was not funny. I'll give you that straight away.
Was she trying to be funny?
She did try a little bit. Look, she's nice. She's lovely. She did that standard Sydney, I love you, Sydney type thing, which unfortunately my
Did you do your standard yell back at the musician using your carrying voice? You didn't bother.
No, I didn't bother. I don't do that anymore.
You put it in the rack. Who did you do that with? It was quite a famous story.
There was Neil's Farm. He was playing piano, and he just finished playing at the Opera House, and I was sitting there, and he said at the end, he's like, "Okay," he's German. He's like, "Okay, let's bring the lights up," and I went, "No!" and there's this audible laugh across the entire Opera House.
Not how I heard it.
And then
there was. They loved it.
Afterwards, Ben Hutchings came up to us and goes, "How funny was that guy who said no when they brought the lights up, when they asked to put the lights up?"
Did you pretend you didn't know it was? Did you do that?
He didn't know it was me, and I had to say, "Actually, Ben Hutchings, that was me." Yes, I am funny. But anyways, look, speaking of funny, we have Jamie Timony on next. We give you all the exclusives. We've got a great new guest next week. Looking forward to them. I think we'll probably sign out with Jamie until next week. Jono, looking forward to episode 13, the lucky number 13. Any last notes for our listeners?
No.
Are you upset you missed out on Vladimir?
I am. Yeah. No, yeah. Well, you don't sound that impressed, actually.
Oh, no,
you sound like you thought it was a bit shit.
No, I wasn't. No, I didn't think it was. I didn't think Vladimir was shit. I'm just fascinated that with the
SBS guys, if they like
time and effort Vladimir has found in between his tight schedule to put together. He's really raising the bar, and hats off to him. Full hats off to him. He's quite the lyricist, I think, really, and underrated in many ways.
Underrated. Yeah, and it's his second language too. He's very impressive.
It's very impressive. Yes. All right. Well, anyway, thanks so much, Jono. Lovely chatting to you as always.
Hey, you too,
Short
mate.
episode this week, and next week we're coming back with a new guest. I don't want to name names, but it's something pretty hot. Let's just say that, hot off the press in terms of popularity, not just aesthetically, although they're quite good looking as well.
Nice one. See you, Dorje. See you,
mate.
everyone.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
It's Full Disclosure, the Jono and Dorje podcast.
Joining us today, our first guest on Full Disclosure, episode 12. Okay, what is that? A snoring noise?
No,
What is
people
that?
blowing up. This is exciting.
Oh, okay, good. That's a better noise. Okay, yeah, good. Just let me
That'd
get
be
through
serious
it
sleep apnea if that was the snoring.
before. Certainly. And joining us for our first guest on Full Disclosure on episode 12, the World Cup edition, is Jamie Timony, the creative force behind Mossy, the creative force behind These New South Wales, actor, writer, extraordinaire, auteur, Jamie Timony. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here. I'm Jamie Timony, and welcome to me.
Well, it's great because you do have alter egos. You've got these your musical alter ego, you've got the TV show alter ego, but I don't think a lot of the real Jamie really comes out, and I'm assuming we might get a small insight into the real Jamie.
You may well do.
No promises.
No promises, no way.
So we should give a bit of background to these alter egos. Of course,
Yes.
These New South Wales alter ego, just fiery frontman on stage. One of the best live performers I've ever seen, I have to say.
Thank you. Yeah,
Probably
these
seen
New
you
South, these
20
New South
times,
Wales.
Jamie.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry?
I keep interrupting. Yeah.
There you go. I was just saying nice things about you.
Yeah, I loved it. And These New South Wales, you're right, it's one of the best bands in Australia, and I'm lucky enough to be the frontman of that band. So
You got a bit to do with it.
It's a great feeling.
I saw them. I don't want to out fangirl you, Jono, but I saw them. I did at the World Bar. At a it wasn't even early for them. They'd been around for a while before that, but it was a gig. I think it was about 7 years ago. I reckon that gig.
Wow, that could have been. Was it downstairs at World Bar?
Yes.
That would have been the first show because we've only ever played one show down there, and that was the first one.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I was
So
there.
you were the
I think I was
first
there too, Dorje.
No, you
I was
weren't. You weren't there,
yes,
mate.
I was.
Oh
I was
my
playing
God.
in Sydney 7 years ago.
Bullshit. You didn't even know who they were. You thought it was a rugby union thing, I think you said. Where are the Waratahs playing, you said to me. Fucking idiot.
There's a lot of rugby in Sydney, but and then on your TV show, Jamie, you really extend that character and you play him as almost a kind of monster. I rewatched all of season 1 last night, and in credit to you, it's actually funnier the second time round, which shows a lot of nuance in performances. But you're a bit of a bad guy.
Do you reckon?
Yes, definitely. Very controlling, very. You won't let anyone else get a word in. Bit like Dorje on the mic.
Yeah. No, the character in the show is definitely a bit like that for sure. I mean, I like hearing that you think he's a bad guy. Some people feel sorry for him. I like the mixed responses that character gets.
Well,
Makes
I think
it
a
fun.
monster is not always a bad guy, but you're in that kind of George Costanza, David Brent.
Yes, that model
kind
of bad guy.
Famous for insecurities, those guys, really, and how it mobilises in their behaviour.
Yeah, that's right. There's just an incredibly insecure character. Yeah. Yep.
And so are you gonna push that further in season 2?
Well, season 2, it is out, so I'm surprised that you haven't watched it, to be honest. And yes, it was pushed further. It was pushed further, and in season 3, if there is one, I can imagine that it will be pushed further, because you just got to keep moving forward, don't you?
You do.
Well,
Never
how can we
looking
watch this? How can we watch this? It's not on the YouTube.
It's on. You can watch these New South Wales season 1 and 2 now on comedycentral.com.au. You can stream it there, and it's free. Yep,
that's great.
People keep coming up going, "Hey man, I'd love to see the new series, but I haven't got Foxtel." And I'll say, "Shut the fuck up, you idiot! It's not on Foxtel.
Yeah,
it's on comedycentral.com.au. You fucking idiot."
There you go.
There you go.
That was an easy plug.
Yeah, and you can hear the difference between Jamie, Timony, and these New South Wales character there. It's
completely different people.
Absolutely, and anyone who says it isn't has to come and say hello to him and maybe have a coffee, and you'll see it's a very different person. I know because I've known him for a long time.
Exactly.
Even
I've got kind eyes. I've got kind eyes in the person, in the flesh.
No holds barred.
So yes, as Jamie Timony, you also have another alter ego, which is the Mossy scenario, which I've had the pleasure of witnessing live, and fantastic performances, and the clips are absolutely stunning. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Mossy is my I guess like my home recording project that, you know, it's like when I write music by myself, that tends to be Mossy music. And I work very closely with a producer friend of mine, Dean Touza, and we put a lot of care and love into it, and it's quite a visual project as well. Love making videos, love performing live in that project as well. It's very different to these New South Wales, almost like kind of polar opposite. And it's a nice kind of outlet for a different side of my writing,
And have you got any gigs coming up as Mossy?
Actually, not playing any shows at the moment, because I'm actually just like working on I start recording the album on Monday next week. So
wow,
just been writing, and have written a whole bunch of songs and ready to start recording. So it's a bit of a quiet time in terms of performances for Mossy at the moment.
Any little guesties on there that you can share with our listeners?
There are going to actually be some guest vocalists on there, but I don't know quite who they are yet. So that hasn't kind of been locked in. But I definitely want other people other than just me singing on this album. Yeah,
I'll send you my demo. I'll get a demo together.
Yeah, awesome, man. Just send it to nobodycares@gmail.com.
Will do. I will send it there. Just in case you're not joking. You got to grind in this industry just in case that was like a really clever red herring. I'm gonna send it there.
Now, speaking of performing, you're quite the veteran of stage and screen. I mean, I've seen you on stage as well. A fantastic performance in Men. What was it called?
Yeah, Men. Brendan Cowell's play.
Yes, we've both seen you in Men.
Right.
Very good. Homophobe. And then on top of that, and I use the term "on top of that" deliberately, you really were on screen from a young age, learning your chops.
Yeah.
On famously H2O Add Water, is that?
Yes, H2O Just Add Water is a children's teen fantasy drama series about mermaids, and it was on Nickelodeon and Channel 10 here, and actually in 130 countries around the world.
Whoa,
it's a big deal.
Who's
It's a big
counting?
deal.
You know what I mean? 130 plus actually.
Holy shit!
But we did 3 seasons of that, and I started that when I was 18.
And were you the bad boy on that as well?
I was like,
you were.
I was like the character was a person with good intentions, but yes, I was the gross loser style character that none of the girls wanted anything to do with. And it's kind of...
What about the mermaids?
Art imitating life, life imitating art. Yeah, the mermaids wanted absolutely nothing to do with me. But I wanted everything to do with them. So you get the gist.
Sounds a bit like, I don't want to make it about myself. Sounds a bit like my barista character on Wonderland, where I was really mad keen and a bit creepy and dirty and love, and everyone just didn't like me.
Yeah.
So it's a similar scenario.
It's that archetype, and it's kind of not... Yeah, it's that thing, and it's really fun. It's fun to play that. Really fun.
Do you know what it sounds nothing like? That homeless character I played on Blue Healers who ate a chicken and died.
Oh my God.
Nothing like that at all.
Is that a true character?
Yeah.
That's what you played, a homeless guy who ate a chicken and died in Blue Healers. Imagine getting that email in your inbox.
There was no Logies for that episode, I'll tell you.
What was it about you think, which led to you being cast? You just had something like an idiot who would eat an off chicken?
Every guestie I did, I was like a cheerful bad guy, like a kind of like, a happy homeless person or a happy drug dealer.
Well, you've got exceptionally cheerful eyes, Jono. Like your eyes when you smile are just the most bright, cheery looking things. So.
They are.
You're
They are.
typecast. I'm sorry that happens to
And
you.
I had a mate from SBS say that you come across as consistently bouncing this podcast, and he thought that I'd be the everyman bouncy guy, but I'm more of the rampaging Roy Slaven of the two. He said, whereas you're sort of affable and friendly.
Yeah, you're the driver. You're the driver.
Like, yeah. Well, you were a worry the first few episodes, Dorje. You were in a dark place. So
Is that right?
We're bringing you back. Yeah. He was homeless.
Oh.
He was carless.
Oh, great.
Anyway, speaking of full disclosures and personal stories, thanks for that,
Yes.
Jono. We should move into the premiere segment of this, which is really about Jamie Timony unveiling his own full disclosure, his own embarrassing tale. It could be a truthful tale. It could be something just personal about himself. Generally, we've gone for self-deprecating, but we've also done ones where I just talked about me being brutalised on an outward bound camp by guys and getting injured. So it has gone both ways.
Yep.
It's just about just unveiling yourself in whatever fashion you choose. And without further ado, Jamie, I'll cross to you for your full disclosure.
Well, first and foremost, I was thinking about a story. I was trying to think about a story that I could tell here, and I realised that what we perhaps tend to do with embarrassing stories is delete them from our memory. You know those things like that you think about the day after it happens or whatever, and your face goes into a full spasm, like an uncontrollable spasm, or you go, oh fuck, and you say something. It's like you've got Tourette's all of a sudden because that embarrassing story comes up. And I think then I try to delete, and they all disappear. And I know I've been embarrassed a million times. My face goes red at the drop of a hat. I'm probably red right now. I don't know. Dorje, am I red? I'm not red.
No, you're not red.
He's indicating that I'm not red, but that's okay. But anyway, look, I did come across a story, and it has something to do with H2O Just Add Water, which is the kids show that I was in, which we just talked about, which is kind of a miracle because we didn't plan that.
No.
We didn't plan it.
No.
Miracles do happen. Fuck anyone who says they don't. You don't have to be religious to believe in miracles, okay? Miracles have nothing to do with religion. Let's just get that straight, please. So I'm working on H2O Just Add Water. I did 3 years of it, okay? So it's a well-oiled machine. I was actually dating Kariba, who played one of the mermaids, and we dated for a very long time and were very close. And there was something that I needed some time off for. Now on H2O, I shot, generally speaking, right, 1 day a week, and they paid me a lot of money. You know what I mean? Those other 4 days, I was just out, spending all my money, hiring cars. And
How much,
driving up
mate?
the mountains.
How much did they pay you?
I don't want to go into it, but it was a
How much,
disgusting
mate?
amount of money.
Give me how much?
It's full disclosure, Jamie.
Full disclosure. Okay, look, something like $450 a week, $500 a week.
That's big when you're that age.
Okay.
Yeah, that's big when you're that age.
I was joking, by the way. It's an awful amount of money.
More.
Was it?
For a show like that, it's an awful amount of money.
Was it really $450, $500
It
a
was
week?
like $500
No, it was
a
more.
week.
It was obviously more syndicated.
No, he just said it's not. He just said it is $500 a week.
Nah. Look, it was a bit more than that, but I'm just
Oh, why
let's
you
just go
fucking
with $500
lying?
a week.
All right,
That's
okay,
a lot
okay,
to a
okay,
kid like
okay,
me.
okay, go.
To a kid like me, grew up on the on the wrong side of the tracks. I'm getting off.
You claim that as well. I claim that.
Nah.
You claim wrong side of the tracks?
I grew up on the right side of the tracks.
Did you?
Man. Yeah.
Didn't you go to private school?
Absolutely. Nah, fuck no.
Okay.
Public school all the way, man.
But it was like a selective school, right?
No, they just let any old bastard in.
All right. Okay.
Anyway,
Sounds like,
I'm
sounds like
getting
legit
so
wrong side of the tracks. So
Yeah, no, I was on the right side of the tracks.
okay. All right.
So I'm working on H2O Just Add Water. I need, in about 3 months' time, there's an event. I can't remember what the event was, but there was an event that I needed the afternoon off for. The chances are that I was not shooting that day anyway, okay? And if I was, it was very easy with that much notice to work it out. And it was something I really needed the time off for, okay? I can't remember what it was. It must have been another job or something, right? But I need that time off. I did the right thing by picking up the phone and calling the production coordinator, Cindy, who was... like a nice enough lady, but a bit gruff. Let's just say a bit gruff. She would not have the most. She a bit tactless. God bless you, Cindy, if you're listening.
Are you going to do a voice?
No, I was just kind of like this. Yeah. No. No. Look.
It's shot on
a
the
disgruntled kind of voice.
It's shot on the Gold Coast, isn't it?
Shot on the Gold Coast, yeah. So I called Cindy and I said, "Hey, Cindy, how you doing? Listen, I know this is probably I'm giving you a lot of notice here, but there's an afternoon that I'm going to need to not be shooting. Chances are I'm probably not shooting, but I just thought I'd let you know." And she said, "I can't guarantee anything." And I said, "Oh, okay. Cool. It's just that I really need this afternoon off. I can't guarantee anything, mate. And I said, okay, all right, no worries. Well, is there anything I could... Listen, mate, we're busy in here at the moment. Look, whatever day you're scheduled to shoot is the day you'll be shooting. Okay, that's what it says in your contract. And she just got off the phone abruptly. And so I was, a bit taken aback by that. And I sent Kariba, my girlfriend of the time, who was also a cast member.
Sorry, how old were you at the time again?
I was 18.
18, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I sent her a message saying, God, Cindy's a fucking asshole. And I sent that message to Cindy, the production coordinator of H2O Just Add Water. And she wrote back, wrong number, mate. And that's the end of my story. I was really, really, really shocked, upset, embarrassed. It might, maybe, guys, that's not as... Look at me getting all apologetic. But maybe that's not as, all-bearing.
But what happened afterwards?
Yeah, what was the ramifications?
Well, the ramifications were this. I just didn't write back to that message.
Yes.
And I didn't speak to her again for about, I don't know, 3 months or something until the rap party.
Yes.
And at which point I went, rap parties are great, aren't they? They're kind of kiss or biff style occasions.
For the uninitiated.
Bit of steam.
That's right. For the
It's
uninitiated.
where you all just throw down your new rhymes. Everyone just gets there and they
it's
just...
not that sort of rap
few
party.
bars.
No, look, we have to try... For people that are not in the industry, because Jono, myself and Jamie
I'm not.
A rap party is when you
Blackballed.
when you finish up a project and everyone gets together, the crew, the production team, the actors, the directors, and they celebrate the end of a season or a production. And they're generally pretty fun affairs. Often a bit of romance in the air, let off a bit of steam, as you said, Jono. No rhymes generally being put down at all. It's more just about celebrating the fact that you've done this great project, and also mourning the fact often that the project's over because you want to work more.
Sad.
Yeah, and you had a great family vibe often on set.
But I took this opportunity to make amends, and so I approached Cindy and I said, "Listen, Cindy," and she said, "Yeah, what's going on, mate?" And I said, "Listen, about that message where I called you a fucking asshole." I said, I want to make it clear to you that I don't think you're a fucking asshole at all. I think you're a great person. You've always been pretty upfront, and perhaps I took a little bit of offense to the fact you were abrupt, or maybe I took it personally. And what I wanted to say to you was that I just wanted to blow off a little bit of steam to my girlfriend. I used some language, wasn't great, it wasn't exemplary language. But we do that sometimes in our private conversations, and obviously I wasn't meant to send it to you. And she went, "Mate, you know what?" I said, "What?" And she said, "No worries, mate."
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I said,
she's even
thanks, mate.
Yeah, gruff in her benevolent forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly. She said, "No worries, mate." I said, "No worries, mate." And she said, "Cheers, mate." And I went, "No worries, mate."
Have you seen her since?
No way.
Okay. Do you know what I would have done? I would have told her that my girlfriend and I use the word arsehole as legend. So I was actually saying... She's a fucking legend.
Yeah, totally.
And I would have dragged Kariba in front of her to second that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So bring other people into it. Punish others for the mistakes of... I like that style of...
Build a house of cards.
Just throw your mates under the bus.
Yeah.
Just have your own shit. That's great, isn't it?
It's good, isn't it?
Or I would have gone, that text message wasn't meant for you. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's very good.
So, guys, I hope I passed the test.
It's great. No, we want to pick through this a bit more, Jamie. Just indulge us here, because you've given us this information. Now it's our turn to have a bit of fun with it.
Okay.
Now, one assumes, in regards, that you left out some information, which I assume is for a reason. It was obviously a very personal thing. The reason you couldn't go to, you had to have that day off in the first. I imagine a family matter or a health matter or something
Probably,
like that.
but I honestly can't remember.
You actually can't remember.
I actually can't remember.
Yeah, right.
So I'm sorry.
I hope it was important, mate. I hope it wasn't just you had the runs or something.
There's no way I'd do that.
I hope it wasn't just.
Hey,
I want
George,
to play
it was
with my
3
band.
weeks in advance. He wasn't
No, it was
planning.
longer than that. It was longer than 3 weeks in advance. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it was something serious, but I can't remember what exactly.
I
what
hope it was a funeral, mate, or something like that.
It may well. Do you know what? It may well have been. My grandma died around that time.
Yes, well, just
not 3 weeks in advance though.
No, 3 weeks in advance. What do you mean?
You wouldn't even know there was a funeral on 3
Oh,
weeks
hang
in
on.
advance.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not going. My grandma's funeral's in 3 months' time. Jesus, what am I thinking?
No.
If it was a Jewish funeral, not that you are Jewish, it has to be within a couple of days.
Okay,
So
well,
it
that
wasn't your Jewish funeral.
wasn't my Jewish funeral.
The other thing about this story, moving on from Jewish funerals, is the
Keeping it light, keeping it moving.
moving along, is the phone featured quite heavily. And
Yes.
prior to the advent of the Nokia 3210 and all those devices we were fumbling around with, the Motorola flip tops, it plugs left, right, and centre here, is that you couldn't make these fuck ups prior to these. You couldn't accidentally write a letter to the wrong person, or and when you pick up a phone and talk to someone and go, "Fuck, they're an asshole," unless you pick it up and say it straight away, you normally hear their voice first, so you're not going to have that mistake. It's a technology thing.
It's a technology thing. Yeah, I wanted the phone to disintegrate the minute I press send. I wanted it to turn to dust or scarab beetles. I just wanted the phone to turn into scarab beetles that all ran up the wall.
Yeah.
And I wanted to burst into flames. Like myself, like just spontaneously combust into flames.
Yeah, the earth swallow you up.
Oh, how good would that be?
That happened to a family member, like a family friend of mine. He's quite high up on the anti-drug kind of world legislation, and he wrote a joke about Amanda Vanstone on an email, and he forwarded it to a bunch of his friends, and he CC'd her in. Yeah, that made the newspaper, I think, that one. Yeah, it's definitely a crime of our century.
Oh,
well, yeah, emails, you're right. That's a similar thing. I had a mate at Freehills. He was a lawyer, and he was a footy jock, and he's just finished his first year, and he sent an email to everyone at Freehills. I think he CC'd accidentally. He basically goes, "Guys, just getting organising for the weekend. Actually, out of curiosity, what do you reckon of my rating systems for the birds in the office?" Ooh. And then at the back end, he went, "P.S. Anyone need pingers for the weekend? Just let me know.
Oh my god!
Put your orders in now."
That's a left-right hook. What did he call it? A jab and a... I don't know the fighting terms, but it's both punches.
Yeah,
to his own head. Yeah,
yeah, two fists of fury.
Well, I would be on damage control. I'd be talking about real birds, and I'd be talking about what pingers mean. I don't know.
Yeah,
you get your girlfriend in, mate. You'd wheel her in.
So I'd get Jamie's girlfriend in.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's right. Jamie is single at the moment, ladies. I did establish that prior to this podcast.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Kind
You
of
always
strange
ask that. That's
questions,
always first thing you want to know.
Yeah, you single at the moment? Great. Yeah.
Well, it's all about plugs, and yeah.
How are you enjoying that, Jamie? How's it being single?
Well, it's been a long time. I've been 5 years basically single, and I think there's I feel like I have more to give to a relationship than ever before as I get older. You know what I mean? I learn what it means to be a good person more and more each day. So it's kind of the prospect of having a relationship at some point in the future is kind of exciting, but I don't know whether it will ever happen.
There's that, but but there's also, in terms of relationships, we shouldn't forget that we do this podcast from Sydney and Melbourne, and Jamie has been a bit of a floozy with those two locations of late. You're residing now in Melbourne, is that correct?
I live in Melbourne now, yeah. I live in...
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I live in Melbourne's north suburb of Thornbury.
What address, what house address are you at, just in case anyone wants to pop in?
I'm not sure that I really want to divulge that.
Is that the address? Send it to anyone who cares. Is that the same?
Yeah, nobody
same
cares at gmail.com. You can ask for my address if you're really interested. Yeah.
You know what, J-Dog? I teach on a Thursday in Thornbury, so I might meet you for a coffee afterwards.
Okay, awesome. Do you mind popping that into an email?
Now, why did you move, mate? Why'd you piss off from Sydney to Melbourne? Because we're always waxing lyrical about the pros and cons of both cities.
Oh, great. Well, I was when I moved to Melbourne. For starters, I only went down there for a month to start working on some music. And I just ended up staying there. I went down for a month and thought, maybe I'll just do another month. I was staying at a friend's house. He rented me a room, and all of a sudden I just thought, you know what? I'm kind of done with Sydney for the minute, just because I just don't know. I'm sick of everything. I'm sick of it all. I'm sick of seeing the same things. I'm sick of seeing the same people everywhere. I'm just sick of it. And I hadn't spent that much time in Melbourne, and it was that beautiful feeling of exploring a new city, making new friends, being in new surroundings. Everything felt new and fresh again. I didn't have any money when I got there, so I'm wearing an Dorje's pointing at my I Love Sydney shirt, which I bought today for $9 from a store in Redfern. And you know why it was $9?
Why?
Because I said to him, because it had a little mark on the shoulder, and it was 10. I said, how much? He said $10. I said, what's the best price you can do for it? And I pointed at the dirty mark on the shoulder, and he said, that's my display shirt. And I said, yeah, I realised that, but it's got you can see the little dirty mark, and I don't. And he said, you know what? I'll do you a deal. I'll do it for $9. He said sarcastically, and I laughed in his face, and I said, deal. And I gave him $9. Anyway, so I'm wearing a I Love Sydney shirt because it's true. I do. I love being back here now. It feels like home.
So you're not gonna leave us before we've started our weekly Thursday coffee thing. You thinking about moving back to Sydney? What's going on?
No, I don't think I'm thinking about moving back to Sydney in any rush. But
it is very cool in Thornbury, Dorje. It's kind of like the extension of Northcote, and it's popping.
Is it gentrified already, like Northcote is, or not so much?
Not quite. Yeah, it's probably on the way, but not quite. It's pretty like there's not enough streetlights in the streets, so they're very dark and suburban. Actually, kind of spooky. I love my house and I love the main street, High Street in Thornbury, but I find the back streets a bit spooky.
Okay, so how long have you been in Melbourne for now?
A year and a half.
So which is better?
Man, my heart is just so rooted in Sydney. It really is. I just absolutely adore this place. I do. I adore it. But I love Melbourne as well. I find it hard to, I don't really understand it when people go, oh, I hate that city. I'd never have that. Unless we're talking about Canberra, I'm into it.
Oh, no offense to our Canberra listeners. We've got quite a few. But you kind of made your bed there. You sounds like you're leaning towards Sydney still, which is...
Yeah, I am.
That's fine.
I am.
A little birdie told me you're looking to buy in Sydney, Jono. Is that true?
A little bit. Well, I might have some breaking news for you later in the podcast, mate.
Okay. Oh, my God.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Anyway, on that note, breaking news. Thanks so much for being exclusive for us, Jamie. Really appreciate you coming in, being our kickoff guest with your with story of technology failing you when you were very young and easily knocked aside internally. But you obviously overcame it fantastically. You're a real adult. You stood up at the rap party.
Well, can I say that the takeaway from this story, I think, is facing up when you've made a mistake or you've upset someone. Face up, suit up, show up, look them in the eyes and say, you know what, I wronged you and I'm sorry. Because none of us are perfect, are we? No way. No. And life is so much easier when you just apologize for your mistakes rather than ignore them or try to shift the blame.
Yeah, blame others. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. We can't go on like that.
No. Agreed.
Did you get the day off? We didn't find that out either. Do you remember, or was that just periphery?
Look, I wish I knew the answer, and I could make it up. I really could make it up, but I'm not going to do that.
No, don't make it up. Exactly. You're not a liar. That's good.
No, I'm not a liar.
No, that's great. That is a sickening feeling when something like that happens, and
disgusting.
That's pretty much the backbone of our show. Dorje and I've had so many incidences where we've wronged people.
Yeah,
so
it's really
and
bad.
we've rarely owned up, so it's great to hear someone who has.
Yeah,
who's pointed out, as part of the growing process, and it was great that you realised at such a young age. I mean, we're in our mid to late 30s now, and we're still struggling to own up for a lot of our prior transgressions. But I think this is a bit of a recovery, a psychological bloodletting process for us, and thanks for opening your veins as well.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jamie Timony.
See you Thursdays.
Okay, yeah, every Thursday from now on.
Great.
Thanks, mate.
Forever.
Yeah. Coming to you every week from Sydney and Melbourne. It's Full Disclosure. The Jono and Dorje podcast. Jono and Dorje. Full disclosure in the raw.